Hello chefs, today we do a classical sort of Spanish dish, which is the Spanish omelette. We do it the Andalusian version, which means contains peppers as well as onions and potatoes, and of course the eggs. So we go straight into it. All you need is the onion. Spanish onion would be better, but they're too large for just one portion, so I use a red one. And about a third of a yellow, a third of a red, and a third of a green sweet pepper. And about 3 parboiled in a skin potatoes. So I'm going to keep the skin on, as that being the best part where all the minerals are. And equal amount in egg, 3 eggs and 3 potatoes. I got the pans already on fairly high heat because it's going to be quite fierce. And I have, as usual, oil, pepper, salt, and a tiny bit of garlic powder. I would use fresh garlic, but I can't keep it too long because of just one person, so I use the powder instead. So first of all, I prepare the one that takes the longest to cook, which is the potato. And today I got 2 frying pans on the double burner, not burner but plate, and I'm gonna do the frying separately and then marry the whole lot together in one big omelette. So off I go with the potatoes. All I do is just slice them fairly thin so that we'll fry like a sauteed potatoes, really. That's what it is. Not much difference than that. And then I'll be doing the onions and the peppers separate, and I will marry the two together, mix it with the egg and make the omelette. So I got the small pan and the large pan there ready, and I'll be using the large pan for the potatoes and the small pan later on for the onions and the peppers. All I do is just season the potatoes a bit with salt and pepper. And bang them into the hot oil. You can see the smoke coming up, so it's certainly hot. And just spread them out nicely so they got the flat side into the oil. They're already cooked, so they just need a bit of colouring and flavouring. Some people prefer to use butter for this, but the Spanish use more oil than butter. I'll be using the butter to finish off. Next, put it there, onion, and today we're going to shred it, which means, as I said before, shredding is always cutting along the grain, while shredding is along the grain, like this, while slicing is across the grain with the root away from the knife. So I just do both for the sake of the demonstration. So there's 2 differences. You can see quite well the difference is this is sliced, which has got the half circle, and this is shred, which has got sort of the curvature of the onion. And in I go in a hot oil. Break them up a bit so they fry nicely and are slightly caramelized. Checking potato, they really start to color slightly. Not bad. Great. And then the peppers, thinly sliced. So the skin against the board, sharp knife, and you do like the finger walk that we learned earlier in the demonstrations. Meanwhile, I keep an eye on my potatoes and onions, make sure they don't burn down, especially the onion. So give it a toss every now and then. and I just want them just slightly browned and soft. Potatoes, check, they should be nearly there for tossing out. Yeah, they started to sort of golden on the outside, so the same thing. We use two pans, you're much quicker. Otherwise you can have a much larger pan, one of those nice lovely cast iron Le Creuset, very expensive, very heavy, give you muscle on your muscles. Great, it's doing fine. Potatoes are coming up just nicely. So what I do is I now marry the potato with the onion, tiny bit more oil, not pepper, and I do my sweet peppers in here. So everything at the moment is on maximum heat, which is not very hot in my case with this electric small sort of hob. Can't even call it a hob really, it's almost like a camping sort of stove. Here on top in case I lose some on the way. And these are sort of potatoes, and if you stop there with the onions they become pomme lyonnaise. So quite a lot of the recipes sort of cross-fertilize with different nations, and at the end we all use the same ingredients. Next I prepare the egg, so 3 eggs, and the fork, just crack them nicely into the bowl. Nice fresh eggs, you've got different varieties now in the market, the one that got the white shell and the orange yolk, and of course a bit of salt, a bit of pepper. Freshly ground is always best, and in this case tiny bit of garlic. If I had fresh garlic that would have gone in by now with a sweet pepper. And some people like to put as well some cheese with the Spanish onions, which is you know, an additional thing. The classic Spanish onion is just potato and onion, and that's ready for the next step. Mix them in nicely, so just to soften up a bit and give a bit of flavour. Those are nearly ready. Mix things correctly. They start already to brown off quite well, they're quite soft. And this is a fairly quick recipe, about 15 minutes at the most. And those are soft. Switch off this, I won't need it anymore. Put it all together. That's done. Toss the whole lot together. Oops, stay in there. If you want to do this sort of work by tossing, make sure you choose a pan with a nice even slope. And all I do is just put in the hot sort of vegetables into the egg. So they start already to cook from the heat of the vegetable. Eggs start to set a lower temperature than boiling, which is 100 degrees, so it starts to set about 70-80 degrees. And I have my pan ready. Reduce the heat a bit, mix this lot, well, that is heating up, and that's a generous one portion meal really. You can always serve it with as I will, with a salad, which is very continental. So just mix it in so they are nicely sort of coated with the egg. So you can see the egg sort of coming to the surface as the vegetables sink into it. Tiny bit of oil, shouldn't need much because of that non-stick pan. And here he goes. And it starts already to set because we got the heat from the pan, the heat from the vegetables, and just let it set. Sure it's nice and flat and even. Tuck in the very thin sort of border so that it doesn't burn. And just let it cook through. You can sort of cover this to cook a bit quicker, but I like you to see what's going on. So it's just sort of fry nicely. If you want to overcook it, the stuffing there is already cooked. The egg I want it slightly moist so that it tastes nice and sort of flavoursome. It's not hard. And this omelette can be served both. Sorry, I'm talking, not doing a demonstration. Next I want to turn it, and I want it fairly early. So I just take the plate, make sure I got my cloth somewhere. Cover your arms very well in case it drips fat. Put it on top and whoa-hey! And now, in my case, I put some parsley butter. You've seen me use that before, which is butter preserved in butter, parsley preserved in butter. And just melt it down. And that brings out the flavour of the parsley as well. So you can see it's quite a lot of parsley for the little bit of butter. The butter is just a preserving media, which you can freeze it and have it ready in batches. And all you do is just put back the omelette. And that shouldn't take too long, just maybe a minute. If you got a grill, which I haven't, you could have put the omelette without turning it, which is much easier, under the grill to finish off. And that's nearly just ready. So I put my plate ready for service. I have my salad, nice Rioja wine if you've got it, my plate, and that's my Spanish omelette. Do try it. It took about 13 minutes, so enjoy it and see you next time. Bye bye.